Guys, welcome back to the stream. Let's make sure our audio is working nicely. It sounds like it is. Nice. Alright, so what's the plan for today? Plan for today is more speed training. And then some ball striking. First, we gotta get loosened up. Buddy, don't dig in the yard. Always super, super important to get your body ready to move fast. I also am gonna need to get our radar out. A lot of you guys have been asking about this PRGR. This is the launch monitor that we use to track the speed. Oh. I think what's up, guys? Rex will rise said, hey, Rex will rise. Oh, man. Just getting loosened up before we start doing some speed training. It'll be like day 4. Excuse me. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Come on. Oh, I got these crazy mutts that live in my house. Crazy, crazy mutts. Ah. You're killing me, Smalls. What do you got on you? Alright. You don't need that. Oh. What a day. Beautiful day outside again today, guys. Here in good old Rhode Island. Oh. What you doing? I am going to be doing some speed training, which involves swinging these different weighted clubs. And then this portable launch monitor will tell us how fast we're swinging it. And we track that over a period of time. But before you start trying to swing a club really fast, it's a good idea to kind of prime the body, get loosened up, stretch all the relevant muscles out. So this is called overspeed training. So you progressively add weight. You start with the light one, then you go up to medium and then heavy. So, on our dominant side, which for me is right-handed, and the non-dominant side. So you'll get to see me make some awkward lefty swings. It's always fun. And the idea with this is to train our body progressively over time to swing the club faster. This primarily is a skill that we practice as it relates to the driver, but obviously speed, you know, in our swing translates throughout the bag, so this side always feels way better than the other side. Hello, Miss Lady. Hello. You come to be a superstar again today? I know. The people love a good pop on the stream. They do. They do. You chasing your brother around? You terrorizing him? Is that what you're doing? As long as we're not digging holes in the yard. Nah, I'd beat 9 circles, said hi. What's up, my dude? So, evening, John. Replied on a vid if you could check out my swing. Sure. I don't know if I saw, if you did it recently, I may not have seen the notification. You know, what with the workday and all. And then coming on here. But sure, I'd be happy to do that. I've also had some people, you can DM me on Instagram if you want to send me a video of your swing to look at that way. Only requirement is you got to follow me on Instagram. We're trying to get that going over there. We've got like almost 3K subs on here and like 50 on Instagram, so it was 1 hour ago with a link in the reply. All right, well, I will take a look for that. You can also, Julian, you can send me an email. You can DM me on Instagram. I don't know if links on YouTube comments will work, but I can certainly try. You know, as long as your swing video isn't gonna hack my whole computer. All right. So, you know, 5 minutes of stretching and kind of dynamic warm up. Yeah. You can, oh, that's good helping. That's good helping. Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh, hello, buddy. Said I need some attention too. You need some attention too? Can you sit? Can you sit? No, you want to climb? You want to climb? So I'm a climber. So I'm a climber. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you having fun? Oh. Send it through WeTransfer in your mail. I'm not familiar with WeTransfer, but hey, you can also, you know, maybe it's on your channel. Is it posted on your channel? Oh, I see. Here we go. All right, so now I'm seeing Julian's swing. First video upload trying to better my swing. You want to just do it live? I don't want to blow you up on the stream. If you don't want to do it live, we can do it live if you want, but you tell me before we look. I do have the video pulled up. I can kind of react in real time if you like. Oh man, I love having dogs. They're crazy. But yeah, pull it up. All right. So this is, you guys are going to have to go to Julian's page to watch what I'm watching. All right. So pretty decent move through it. You know, you certainly seem like an athletic guy. I don't know what your sporting background is or how long you've been playing golf. But you certainly, you know, the takeaway I would say feels a little bit inside and flat. But you do a nice job of kind of keeping it on plane, not getting super over the top of it. Yeah, I mean it's pretty solid. I think, you know, just keep putting in reps and working on your speed. The only thing you know, that seems to me like you get a little bit inside this way in the takeaway, and that kind of flattens it out. Yeah, well, don't eat grass, buddy. You won't be coughing. My only other reaction is to, you know, your chest kind of comes up through the strike a little, so you might have more success maintaining that space, you know, for everything. Like sometimes you might get stuck, right, if you're standing up on it. But if you maintain that chest kind of down and through it, especially with an iron, right, covering it with your right shoulder, that can be a really effective, you know, feel or move to work on in that department. But decent, you know, hitting area setup. C. Rich is here. What's up, C. Rich? I started recently after quitting for 14 years. Yeah, that makes sense. Have you ever watched Rambo? I have not watched Rambo like start to finish, no. Does that help, Julian? That's, you know, kind of quick thoughts. But, you know, like you said, if you've taken a long time away from the game, you know, remember that we'll take time to build up that, you know, level of comfort and familiarity with the motor pattern as you know, continue refining it and getting feedback both on the golf course and when you're practicing. Can you stop eating the grass, please? Yeah, it's hanging out of your mouth. That's how I know you're eating it. Julian said, thanks, Sean. Yeah, awesome. Perfect. Is that a new club? No, this is the speed training sticks that I've been using, guys. So, all right, let's get started. Feeling pretty loose. This is our swing speed launch monitor. Is it okay to swing over the top if your face is square? Yeah, I mean, sure. If you can deliver, how about this? If you can strike the ball solidly and center your shot pattern over your target, that's all that matters, right? The golf ball doesn't know what your swing looks like. All it cares about is the club face at impact, how fast it's going, you know, how you interact with the ground relative to that golf ball, right? Like there are times when Scotty Scheffler's swing looks pretty over the top. He obviously hits it great. So there's tons of different ways to get the club face back to impact. That's my take. All right, so this guys is going to tell us how fast we're swinging. And then we have this extremely official tracker. And we're going to swing the green one 5 times, both right and lefty. Then blue. Then red. Then we'll go back to green. For like a full max, you know, once we've gone through the whole protocol. And then we'll get a baseline with our driver to start as well. Baseline with our driver has been 108 starting out since we started doing this. So still just getting loose here, and then we'll grab our driver. Hi. You didn't get enough attention yet? You didn't get enough attention yet? Oh, get him. Get him. It's fun having two dogs that are really like best friends. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right, so let's do a quick baseline. Julian says, wishing you the best with the exercise. Thanks very much. If you guys are having a good time checking out the stream like Julian, you want to hit that subscribe button. Oh. All right, let's get a little baseline with our driver. $106. Won't need these for a little while yet. $108. $108. Got the backswing. $109. $109. All right. So that's up 1 mile an hour max from our peak. Which is a great sign. All right, I'm going to jump right in with the green club. This is the lightest one. $119. $120. Got the backswing. $119. $120. $120. Okay, so we make a note of that. This again, guys, this is the extremely official launch monitor setup. Comes in the mail this way with the bricks and everything. All right, now we gotta go other side. Hi, hi. Be safe. You guys having fun?
I put the water out.
Oh, thank you. See you in a bit.
What?
I don't think so. I just said have a good time. Love you. All right. Lefty swings with the green club now. 105. You know, just as a precaution, because why not be extra safe? 104. 107. 108. 108. So I think that's improved too. On the other side. 108 on the lefty side, guys. We'll hop back to the dominant side, grab our blue club. Do some of these step drills too. All right. $115. Got the backswing. Got the backswing again. $115. $114. All right, 115 is pretty solid for the blue club. Arlen said, "What's up? How's your day been?" My day's been great. Thank you for asking. How about you? Hi. 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 That's a lot of kissing. All right. You helping? Do you want to be a fast swinger as well? High club head speed girl? Huh? Oh, look how happy you are. Look how happy you are. What do you see? What do you see? What's your brother doing? Just laying in the grass? Alright. I don't want to get you, baby doll. Come on. Quick water break. Arlen says, good. Yesterday I went and bought the QI irons and a QI 10 3-wood, so it's good. That's very exciting. I might have some new clubs in the mail coming too. If you guys want to get free clubs in the mail, go check out the giveaway videos, either here or on Instagram. And you could have cool new golf clubs coming for free to you. Literally, we're just gonna randomly pick somebody out of the comments and mail you a free golf club. Got the backswing. Backswing again. $104. $101. $103. $104. $106. Pretty good. Michael said, need the S. For what? AI said hi. Hey, AI. Buckeye says, what's your handicap? Usually around 0. Been working on the swing a whole bunch, so I'm playing off like 2 something right now. It's gone up. That's okay, it's gonna happen. It's not a static measure of anything. All right, right into the red club here. Got the backswing again. I don't know, I wish I understood better why that happened. $106. Got the backswing. Got the backswing again. What if we do like a hard reset? Hi. Oh, that's not a good spot though. That's not a good spot to sit. Hi. They say, we do not care what your club head speed is, Dad. We don't care one bit. We just want attention. Right? 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 Oh, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Hi. Look at you guys. You happy? Yeah, look at that smile. Look at that smile. Are you a superstar? Yeah, do the people on the internet love their dogs? They go, doggo! Doggo! Right? Right? He says, look at this good attention. Look at this good attention. Alright. We gotta see how fast we can swing this club. A few more swings with the red club. 110, look at us. 108. Got the backswing again. Got the backswing again. Alright, I want one more good one. 109. I feel like 110's got to be pretty high up there for a red one. Kyle says, I went golfing with my father-in-law and brother the other weekend, had a blast. However, I had to borrow clubs. One of them we're using. I'd love to win so I can have at least a single club. Well, Kyle, good news for you. It's very easy to enter. All you got to do is subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Subscribe, or follow me in Firefighter Golf on Instagram. 2-step process. So you have club speed of 105 to 110. Sure. Again, it depends on which club we're swinging. So now after I've done the green, the blue, and the red, I'm going to go back to the green and try and get this one going even faster. Right? Oh, I'm supposed to do my lefty swings with the red club first. Shoot! That's why we have an extremely official tracker to keep us honest, so we don't forget key steps. Backswing. 101. 100. 100. 99. 101. Alright, so 101 is the number. The lefty. Instagram is the same, John Young Golf. 101. Alright, and now, like I said, we go back to the very light one, the green club. Just go straight into it. Swing this one as fast as we can. 121. Backswing. 119. 121. 121. 122. That's what we like to see, guys. 122 miles an hour on our max green effort. And now we'll go back to our driver. Again, 109 was the baseline before the protocol. 112. 111. 'Got the backswing. 108. Got the backswing. 116, guys. That's called a breakthrough. That's called breakthrough. What platform is Firefighter Golf? Oh, same. Instagram and YouTube here. 116 is awesome. Plus 7 miles an hour today. 109 up to 116. We call that a win. Let's try to get past 116. $115. 116 again. 112. 111. 112. 112. All right. So we did match it. We got up to 115. Again a few times. It'll certainly get your heart rate going. That's for sure. P770s or P790s? Sorry guys, I'm just getting caught up here on the comments. AI is in from South Africa. Very cool. W, Hollywood's a great job. So cool to see. Love from the Netherlands. Thanks for being here from the Netherlands. One of my closest friends from college, from university, lives in a place called Zwanenburg. Which is just outside of Amsterdam, and we visited a few times. A lovely part of the world. Yeah. That's what I don't tell you about the Dutch. Very tall people. Extremely tall. V-Shock says, love from North Korea. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Valor says, when did you start playing? I started playing seriously in high school, so maybe around the age of 15. So, half my life ago. 116 today, guys. I'm pretty fired up about that. I haven't seen those numbers since college with an actual driver, and one that's half an inch short. So maybe get another mile or two from another little bit of club head length. And obviously I'm swinging at a speed that is, you know, far beyond what would seem comfortable on the golf course, right? I'm just trying to maximize that ceiling so that when I do drop it down to, call it 90% in order to, you know, try and hit the fairway, try and hit a shot, or, you know, generally care about the outcome, right? That because I've pushed that ceiling up higher, right, I'm dragging 90% of that number up with it, right? So I'm able to still swing comfortably, but at a higher speed. That's ultimately the idea of trying to push that max ceiling up. So cool, I know Zwanenberg. Oh, awesome, that's very cool. Haha, so tall, yeah. Let's show John some likes. Thanks, Squirrel Sniper. One of our cool mods on the channel. Thanks for being here, bro. And yeah, if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, if you want to hit that like button, really does help us out. Or if you have questions about, you know, your golf swing or certain shots you're working on. Unk, LOL. I know, old. JK, how do you hit a good bunker shot? All right, so keys to a good bunker shot. I'm in Virginia Beach. Are you anywhere near? East Coast, but further north, up in the Northeast, just south of Boston. How do you hit a good bunker shot? So the keys, in my opinion, to hitting, you know, good bunker shots. I personally don't think you need to open the face like a whole bunch. But number one, understand what's the objective in a bunker. obviously our goal is to get it out, you know, hit it close to the hole, get it on the green, all that stuff, right? Throw the sand. Oh, good idea, Michael. That can be a feel that works for people. Right, but remember, your goal is not ever to hit the golf ball. What you're doing is you're trying to impact the sand. It's, you know, behind and thus underneath the ball, and that sand is what propels the ball up onto the green, right? So you definitely want to, you know, practice getting comfortable in the bunker, hitting somewhere behind the ball, right? We want our low point behind and kind of almost, again, we're trying to use the sand to propel that ball. So with that in mind, again, for a standard bunker shot, I'm going to open my stance some. I'm definitely going to lower the handle this way, right? You know, getting it flatter will help get that ball up, right? That face is open a little bit. You know, dig your feet in some, right? And then you just make sure to keep the speed up. You know, you don't need to swing super hard, but decelerating or not, you know, transferring enough energy into the sand is how, you know, you leave it in the bunker, you don't get it out, you end up, you know, having to hit the same shot again. That's what we're trying to avoid, right? Our goal, anywhere around the green, whether it's a bunker, rough, fairway, got to make sure your next shot is a putt, right? That's how we're going to reduce double bogeys. That's how we're going to improve our scoring. So you just keep the speed up. A little tough to perfectly demonstrate off of a turf hitting mat, for sure, but hopefully that helps just with some basic, you know, setup thoughts and things to work through. Hello from Europe. Can you please sponsor my tuition? Take a cushion of sand. Yeah, these are all great ideas. I cannot sponsor your tuition. I wish I could. If I could educate everybody in the world, I would. But the crazy thing is, guys, you guys like could make that happen, right? I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and have 10,000 subscribers because a video, you know, gets seen by 1 million people or something. You guys have the power to do that for people. It's crazy. I mean, I just started this thinking like, oh, I'll just kind of document my process and how I'm trying to get better. You know, I changed jobs, so I'll have more time to work on my golf. You know, I have an interesting life experience. We can talk about that stuff too. But the power is really with the audience. You know, all I can do is try to keep getting a little bit better every time I make a video or do a live stream or something like that. Garrett, 74 plus 2 in the wind today. Hit it pretty good, but didn't make any putts over 10 feet. I use a flop shot motion in the bunker with the weight towards my front foot. That can definitely work too. Good playing today, Garrett. Can definitely be tough playing in the wind. It's good practice though. Out of curiosity, what's your golfing experience? I started playing seriously like in high school. Started playing, you know, junior tournaments and played some club golf in college. I was much more interested in drinking and partying though. And then, you know, still much more so now than even a year ago when I was still working in finance and not playing a ton of golf. You know, I've still consistently played in amateur tournaments competitively. And then the crazy thing is, you know, this year comes around, I have a new job, I have way more flexibility, I'm working from home. I'm like, I'm going to spend all this time practicing, working on my game, you know, improving my swing, trying to work on my mobility, really kind of rededicating myself to trying to play good golf, right? I've been stuck in this kind of, you know, 1 handicap, 0 handicap. Like I've gotten to +1 for a little bit, but like I really want to try and play good golf, you know, like +2, +3 type golf. So I start working on it, I start fixing my swing, and my scores just shoot up. Like, I'm like, wow, this is not what I expected. But it's been a really good learning experience for me in terms of like expectation management and, you know, understanding that this journey is not a straight line, right? It's not a, you just put a bunch of time in and then automatically everything starts getting better all at once. You know, but I can tell that it's there. Like it's so close, and feel really, really confident that we're going to be able to get to that level, you know, and play some really strong golf the way we want to. Elk says he subscribed. Thanks very much. Anonymous said hello. What's your lowest score, Michael? My lowest score is 64. That was 66 under on a par 70 golf course. I'm 34, have zero knowledge of golf. Both my kids want to try out golf. Do you know where I can start? Sure, this is a good question. So you can definitely get them started, you know, with like on a putting green. You know, your public golf course near you should have a practice area. You can take them to the driving range, start hitting balls, you know, developing some hand-eye coordination. You know, just let them have fun. Go say, hey, you know, this is how golf works. You try and hit the ball into the hole and give them a couple balls and a putter, and they should, you know, figure it out and start having fun. They'll make it up as they go. And then Squirrel Sniper said, yeah, great idea too. You know, 9-hole par 3s are great. Caleb, do you play in tournaments? I do. How do I get better on the green? My grandma has a better swing. I'd love to see it. Your grandma must have a really good swing. How do I get better on the green? So I've been doing a lot of work on start line. I invested in a Pels tutor and a well stroke mat and this net. If you guys are interested in the net, you get 10% off with my code in the description. So follow that link, get 10% off. So, you know, some investments and things like that. But to work on start line, you know, you just hit a bunch of putts over and over and over again. And again, for start line, we're talking about, you know, roughly 10 feet and in is where it's going to be the most relevant. Those are the putts you can add a lot of strokes gained by making those, right? You know, outperforming from 10 feet and in. And then everywhere else, we're just trying to two-putt, right? So I think, you know, understanding, like, putting strategy has helped me a lot. Like, the expected value, right? Or, you know, this is how strokes gained works. Strokes gained works. On the PGA Tour, it's like 8 feet, right? It's 50-50, so your expected value is 1.5. If you make it, right, you take one shot, you get a positive 0.5 strokes. Right? To get to 2.0, you got to go all the way out to 30 feet. So from 30 feet and in on the PGA Tour, they're expecting to take, you know, 2 putts. So obviously, if you make a 30-footer, you pick up a whole stroke. But most of the time, you're just trying to make it so that you can comfortably tap in, or, you know, inside 3 feet, and make that next putt. So give that a try. Sapeo says, played some in high school, took some lessons, never played competitively, been a decade interested in getting back to amateur play. Got a set of original ping zings from the early 90s. That sounds pretty cool. Municipal courses are great. My local muni has $20 fees for 18 in the afternoon. Wow, that sounds great. Played with a kid yesterday, made 3 birdies, 3 bogeys, treat to watch, such a good stick. His dad and I tied with 78. It's a great day by all. Well, that's awesome, Rogue. Yeah, if you, anytime you know, can break 80 and feel like you got to watch somebody else play really well, that's awesome. Oh. So we did the speed training, guys. Really big breakthrough. Got all the way up to 116 miles an hour after the protocol with our gamer driver. So now I'm trying to kind of transition and warm up to do some ball striking drills, which for me is primarily been a focus this year on, you know, keeping that strike pattern as consistently around the center of the face as possible. Chi said it best, find your comfortable swing regardless and work around that. That's not bad advice at all. Do you know a drill that can fix a snap hook? All right, so AI, if you... Ed Hardy blanket talking about golf, this new AI is crazy. That's a funny comment, Tom. Nicely done. So if you're snap hooking it, right, understand, well, like, what's causing that? Presumably your path is somewhere out to the right, and the face is very shut, right? That's what's causing that big right to left, if you're a right-handed player, you know, overturning right to left shot, right? So I think the most effective drill to work on this quickly... Hello. Are you going to help demonstrate some drills? Right? So the exact opposite for a slice, but for a hook, you'd put this head cover somewhere down behind your golf ball and to the right of it. Like this, right? This is going to help with the path. If that path is way too out this way, away from out to the right, right? The path is going to be blocked, So this will force you to neutralize that path into the ball, right? That's step one. Step two is getting the club face more open so that you're not going to see that big turn, right? And to do that, what I would tell you to do is, set up to a normal drive or, shot, whichever club you're struggling with the most. Set up as if you were going to hit it, right down the fairway, right? But what I'm going to have you do is force yourself to hit it into the right rough. You got to like get the ball going left to right, force yourself to get the club face open, right? And you can do this in conjunction with that drill so that you're not able to do it with the path. You got to get the club face more open. You can feel that rolling open on the takeaway, right? Whatever, works for you best. That's why I prefer these task-oriented drills, right? Like, I'm not saying keep the club face open because that's kind of a nebulous, well, what do I do? Do I do that with my hands or my body? I'm telling you, hit it over there. Learn how to hit it to right field and get that club face more open. And then from there, once you've developed the skills and you've worked on your technique, you can control the club face and the path. Your caddy's awesome. You're talking about the dogs, Michael? Yeah, they're the best. So once you've worked on those skills and you can control or have a better sense of, what my face and path are going to do and how I produce, which combination produces a draw versus a fade, that's really when you're in business and you can start, hitting the ball straight. It's honestly so crazy how much more accessible golf has become in the last 15, 20 years. Club's still expensive, but you can get started for a hell of a lot less than you needed 10 years ago. I agree. Could be the grip as well. That's a good point, Michael. Lots of ways you could try to diagnose why that club face is too shut. Okay, Tom wants to know drill for bad follow through / hanging back. So hanging back, or kind of keeping that weight on your backside, is going to make it really difficult to hit quality golf shots, right? And I'll do a quick demonstration that's kind of based on the mini mart figure, if you guys have ever seen that. But anyway, try not to make this bee too upset at me. If you make a backswing, right, and you start here, and you make a backswing, and you keep your weight stays back here, right, what's going to happen? You're going to hit the ground. You're going to hit it heavy. You're going to have to make all kinds of adjustments to get to that ball, right? We don't want that. If you make a backswing and your weight stays right where it's at, you can definitely hit the ball, right? But you're not going to compress it very much. You might kind of scoop it, right? But if you make that same backswing and you get your weight forward like this, now you're really in business, right? You can deliver a powerful downward strike onto that ball with a lot of force and speed, right? So the key part is getting that weight forward. So that's understanding kind of what's happening, why do we need to worry about this, and then how do we actually do it is the second part. What I would have you do, Tom, is practice that move away from the golf ball, away from the swing. You don't even need a golf club, right? You could just get in your, as if you were gonna hit a ball, make a backswing, and then practice this. Getting your weight forward into that left heel, right, in transition. Just practice that move. You can let your foot come off the ground. Right? Lots of good players have done that. And just, work on within the confines of your athletic ability and experience with golf, trying to get that weight going more forward to stop hanging back. Karen said hi. Hey, Karen. Glitter dance. Stand backwards and then put your golf club in front of the golf ball and then towards your target. Practice hitting. I tried it today. Someone I know showed me it. Cool. If your head is behind the ball, you're scooping. If your head's in front of the ball, that's where you get your compression. And dear Lord, start your swing with your legs. All good stuff, Michael. I appreciate the backup. That was hit about as good as I can hit a golf ball, guys. I like hitting a lot of these, 60% type swings when I'm working on my ball striking, when I'm really trying to consistently be hitting the center of that club face. Right, this is technique practice. This is not execution practice. I obviously don't have a target out there. I don't, I'm not grading myself on my process. This is making sure that I, am consistently striking the center of the face. Right? You can make a ton of progress just hitting a lot of little shots like that, building your skills. Caitlin said hi. Caitlin. Tom says, thank you. I've tried that too to some extent. Sometimes can lead to over the top for me because I'm too focused on the upper body on the downswing. I feel like if I do that move and also get in the slot, it would be money. KKM said hi. Muscle memory is the key. That's right. Another good one you can do, Tom, to try and feel, some more of that connection, right, is the towel drill. Grab a golf towel, tuck it under your armpits, right? You could also do it with a glove or a head cover, right? But imagine, you had a towel, like a golf towel, and you drape it under your arms, right? And then you're going to make your swing, and you're going to really make sure that this doesn't fall out, right? If you make a really disconnected, move like this, see it fell out? But this can give you a more, practical way to get everything more connected, right? And you make some swings keeping that intact all the way through. I don't do that drill with my driver, but with the irons, I think it's very, very effective. All right, let's get some up to, closer to maybe like 90% speed. Club twirling into the net, because that's how good we hit it. I had somebody yesterday saying, like, you don't get any feedback from hitting into this thing. Like, it's a complete waste of time. And I was like, well, maybe someone had a bad experience with hitting into a net, but you certainly can tell, like, did you strike it well? Did you hit it on the toe or the heel? You can do speed training like you guys saw us do a few minutes ago. Adam said, nice golf swing. Thanks very much, Adam. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for being here, checking out the stream. Miles also said hi. Michael says, I'm tall and utilize the bottom end whip. Love that. Asa says, looks good. Glitter Dance Kid said hi. Shout out to you guys. If you guys want to drop a like on the stream, just double tap your screen. Pretty easy. The coolest of stream chatters are the ones that hit the subscribe button. But that's a power that only you can wield. I can't compel you to hit the subscribe button. All I can do is what I can do. Which is try to keep getting a little bit better at this, both my golf swing, talking about, sharing drills and ideas when people have questions, and then also finding ways to really talk about the stuff that's important to me and the crux of why I started this channel, right? Which is, sharing my experience with things like sobriety and therapy and, trying to destigmatize some of these issues. Because on the one hand, if I believe that it's important to destigmatize these issues, which I firmly believe it is, I would have made different choices earlier in my life if I thought it was, you know, if I had seen other people do it. You know, so if I believe that it's important to destigmatize these things, and I believe that talking about it openly is one of the ways to do that, well then shouldn't I do that? Don't I have some obligation to, you know, try and create that change and be like, hey, this is stuff that everybody deals with. People have to, you know, worry about friends. If it's not something that affects you personally, you know, friends and family who deal with addiction or have been through recovery. You know, this is not a, we talk about it like it's this taboo thing because nobody wants to have these difficult conversations, but, you know, like half of people in the world deal with these issues in some way or another. Like, if it's that common, then why are we not more openly just discussing them? So anyway, that's my soapbox for today, but that's kind of the, you know, if golf is the container, that's kind of the main point that I want to get to, right? You know, golf's awesome, and I love golf, and it's been a great tool for me, you know, in my life, in, you know, relationships and friends, you know, and it's an amazing container, and I'm fortunate that I've been doing it for a long time and can play at a pretty high level. You know, talking about the other stuff is super important. Fractionally out of the toe on that one, I would say. So if any of that resonates with you guys and you want to hit the subscribe button, it really does help me out. Why do my irons go high and not far all of a sudden? Hey, swing looks good. What are you practicing? Good question, Sam. Are you recovering from anything? I've been more than 4 years no alcohol. I was a really good professional drinker for a little while. And by that I mean like pretty much since my first day of college. But yeah, deciding that I wasn't going to ever drink again is one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Hard stop. Like I just, you know, I don't even know if I would be alive today if I hadn't stopped drinking. I was really, really good at it. I could do with a net and mat. Sometimes going to the range where the course is not possible. Well, AI, if you want the best net you can get the net return, get 10% off with the code in the description. Sam asked, what are you practicing? I'm practicing, how much aura do you have? 67. I'm practicing ball striking, right? Trying to hit this club in the center of the face. Hey pal, swing looks great, keep it up. Thanks, Knucklehead, I appreciate that. Have you ever had a hole-in-one? I've never had a hole-in-one. What's your handicap? Usually around 0, but right now we're playing off like 2. I tend to hit a very low ball flight, straight but low with all my clubs from 60 to driver. Any drills to help flight the ball more? So getting it very low. Okay, Ben, well, I would work on, you know, again, at slow speed. What, you know, try and diagnose, maybe take some video of your swing and work with an instructor is my first thought. If you're not, you know, familiar with like what, you know, your golf swing should look like. Or, you know, DM me on Instagram, send me a video of your swing, we'll check it out. I've done that for some folks. Love looking at golf swings and giving thoughts. We did it for one of our Dutch friends right as the stream was getting started. We pulled up his YouTube page, watched some swings live, gave him some feedback. So you definitely can do that if you want to go check out my Instagram, guys. Same as here, John Young Golf. So if you're hitting it really low, right, let's try and figure out why that is. You could be de-lofting it a whole bunch, you know, not presenting enough loft at impact. You could be striking it, you know, low on the face, right, not hitting it very consistently in the center. But what I would have you do is grab like an 8 or a 9 iron and try to hit it 50 yards in the air, right? And, you know, just try to see like, okay, this is what my normal flight is. See where it comes out, right? On one that you feel like you hit solidly out of the center of the face. And then give yourself a task. Don't worry about like what's the club doing, what's the club face doing. You got to just pick, figure out where that last one, kind of what the trajectory looked like. And then tell yourself, okay, this next ball, it's got to be higher than that one. We got to hit it higher, right? And how do we do that? And just let within the confines of your own swing and athletic ability, take over to say, okay, I can try to hit that ball higher than the last one. How old were you when you first started playing? Probably like 15, as in, around high school. I kind of messed around as a kid, but didn't, play a lot of serious golf until I was in high school. I rarely pass parallel with my leading arm. Over 40 years of golf and generated a steady 120 club speed. Worked for Affinity Golf for 15 years until Mosaic bought them out. That's awesome, Michael. It sounds like you've had an awesome career in the golf industry, which is pretty cool. When I was changing jobs a year ago, I considered, just trying to forge a path in the golf industry, and got some advice that was more like, if you like playing golf, which I obviously do, don't work in golf. So this is kind of my outlet to get more golf stuff, and ultimately, guys, like I was saying earlier, it's up to you. I mean, if I can keep making good stuff and, it keeps catching on, I'd love for this to be a part of my career, how I pay my bills, have even more flexibility and time to, make content and film, do live streams and share drills, all that stuff. Yeah, Michael, it's a good example of, there's different ways to get it done. You can generate speed a whole bunch of different ways. Uru says, congrats, thanks very much. Hey, John, it's Moses. Welcome back, Moses. I'm curious if I'm doing the math right. So for 1 mile per hour increase, it would be basically 2.5 yards if I'm doing the math right in distance. Ashton said, congrats on getting sober 6 weeks myself. Congrats, Ashton. Yeah, so Moses, that's about right? So if we think that, we know smash factor is the effectiveness of transferring energy into the ball. So if 1 mile an hour gets us 1.5 miles of ball speed, right? I've always understood that to mean like between 2.5 to 4 yards. I'd fear shaking in the neighbor's yard, Chef said. Yeah, I haven't had anybody else hit on here yet, so I've managed not to hit the fence yet or miss the net, but fingers crossed, knock on wood, that day is still far in the future. Watch out for the doggo, somebody said. Yeah, no, I'm extremely careful. And as you guys have seen, they are the superstars of the stream. For a kid that used to have a bad lisp, that was pretty well done. Superstars of the stream. Superstars of the stream. Say that 5 times fast. Yeah, the people love when the dogs come over and I get tackled and they're all crazy. Not far enough back in the stance. I want a backyard net though bad. Golf hack, volunteer a day or 2 per week. Free golf. Tell me more about this, Michael. When you say volunteer, AI says, congrats on getting sober. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's much easier now than it was certainly when I started. But the thing, always hear me say, or, I make content about this stuff too, guys. The mantra that made the biggest difference for me was just 1 day at a time, right? I don't have to quit drinking forever or, quit using nicotine, which is another one that I, have done successfully. You don't have to do it forever right now. You just have to do it for a day, right? Do it for today. Just don't drink today. And then try not to drink again tomorrow, right? Just go 1 day at a time, truly. You can go minute by minute if you need to. And just break it down into manageable amounts, because that's what makes these things overwhelming. Chef says, any net recommendations? Yeah, so I have this Net Return Pro, which is an awesome, awesome product. I have already packed it up and moved it once. It comes with a nice, duffel bag to carry all the pieces. It's extremely easy to set up. Like, I put this together by myself a couple times already. I'm convinced that I'll be hitting into this thing for like the next decade. It's not cheap, right? If you can go on Amazon and find something that's, much more affordable, but you might need to replace it, after a couple of weeks of hitting into it. Plus, it's so efficient, right? I have this relatively small space. The back bar of that is almost against that fence, and not once has a ball ever hit that fence or ricocheted. So I'm a huge proponent of the product. I, bought it with my own money before I started, before I got the discount code and all that. So, Chef, if you're interested, the code is in the description of the stream. You can click that link, get 10% off. Little DJ says, I subscribed. Thanks very much, Lil DJ. I really appreciate that. If you guys are enjoying the stream like Lil DJ and you want to be a new subscriber to the channel, smash that subscribe button. You can hit it as hard as you want. I give you full permission. Coop says, how do I get a more powerful swing? I'm new. So Coop, it's never too early to start speed training. And there's a few ways you can do that, or ways you can generate more speed. You can lift weights. You can work out in the gym. I would focus on like big compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, and bench press, shoulder press, that kind of stuff, right? Hit those big core muscles. And then you can do speed training, right, that's specific to golf. There are systems like the Stack, or this one's called Super Speed, that I've had for a number of years. And this, these weighted clubs. So this is an investment, right? It does cost money. And you can get like a portable launch monitor. I have this one. And you can use these to practice swinging faster. And they give you drills and tips and ways to do that, right? And there's a protocol. In the beginning of the stream, actually, like an hour ago, I was doing just this. And I tracked on my extremely official tracker how we did, right? This was a new record since we started speed training just like 5 days ago, 116 with our gamer driver. Volunteer for the cart crew as a marshal anywhere on the course that will use you. Yeah, if you're on the schedule, you play free. Wow, that's a pretty smart idea, Michael. That's a really smart idea. So you can do something like this for speed training. You can also just, grab your own driver, and when say you're at the driving range practicing, and save, call it your last 10 balls, your last 20 balls, and just tell yourself, okay, my intention for all of these is going to be to hit it as hard as I possibly can. I'm not going to worry about where it's going down there. I'm just going to try to, swing after swing, generate more speed, and swing this club as fast as I possibly can. Right? And you could just do that like a workout. Just practice swinging faster. How do you swing fast? You practice swinging fast. So these are components of the skills that go into hitting a golf ball. Like I said earlier, when I'm working on ball striking, I'm making it really small and slow and just trying to practice hitting this very, very, very small target that is the center of the club face, right? That's a very different skill than swinging this club fast. So if I wanted to practice swinging it fast, well, I would need to do something different, right? I would make a different swing. I would practice, in the confines of what I've defined as my iron swing, as much speed as I can, right? And that's a very different type of practice than the swing before. They have different objectives. I'm working on different things. The worst thing you can do, in my opinion, is to just go to the driving range and just, change clubs every 10 swings and just rake balls and just hit them and just be like, okay, well, I don't really know what I did, or have no intention of something you're trying to practice or work on. It's decent exercise, right? If you swing a club for an hour, you burn some calories, but I don't think it's really going to help your golf very much. NVX said hi. Hey, swing your clubs because that's what you play with. I think both can work, Michael. Coop said thank you, and AI said shout out Michael. These are all just tools or implements that we can use to work on these things. I find this kind of practice the most engaging because I also find it the most difficult. For me, I think just having to really focus on what I need to do to hit that ball solidly. I don't know, it just engages my brain really thoroughly. And you'll find, guys, you'll improve a lot faster when you slow these things down, when you make the movements smaller. Hello. Did you come to say hi again? You did? Hi. Hi. Oh, that's good kissing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look who's coming. Look who's coming. Look who's coming. Oh, you got my hat. Oh, you got my hat. Hi. Yeah, he wants some attention too. He says, you can't have it all, sis. You can't have it all. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Good kiss from the dog, too. Thank you, Mr. Logan. Lost the microphone. Ugh. Are you guys the best? Say, yeah, we're the best. Say, we're the best. Yeah. You know what's crazy? If you have a dog at home, your dog is also the best. And both can be true. The volunteering hack is top tier. Yeah, I agree with that. That one's one we're going to think about some more. How do you like Arcos golf sensors? So I used Arcos for like 2 or 3 years and just was not a fan of the subscription model. So I invested in a shot scope, which comes with a watch and has its own tracking, software and system. But idea. I've only used it for 1 round and I did not really get it to work properly. However, I am going to be playing 9 holes again tomorrow morning. So I will give it another try for tomorrow's round and see how it goes. Michael says, I generate speed by cracking the whip. Yeah, I think that, that's a pretty common feel or way that people kind of describe that idea of like, boom, really just cracking it at the bottom, right at the ball. Mr. B, I don't want any trouble. And you can swing it as hard as you want, right? That's a different thing to work on. I feel like I came out of it slightly, but I still hit it well. Talk to all the department heads and get on one of their schedules, free golf. They're coming for you, doggy. They're coming for you. The police are looking for you. They said we heard there was an extremely cute dog in the neighborhood. Yeah, I know. It's so exciting. So we get all this attention from Dad. He's smiling. He's smiling. We should. What? She said, "No. This is my attention time." Makes me very happy seeing these guys enjoying their new backyard, right? You? We're talking about you. Yeah. What golf net are you using? Adam wants to know. Adam, this is the Net Return Pro. I was just mentioning a second ago. I've already moved it once. I had to break it down and pack it up, and it's a premium price product, but it is built to last. It is definitely something that I will have and be hitting golf balls into for a very long time to come. It's absolutely going to outlast this hitting mat and probably everything else. If you're interested in checking it out, Adam, go in the description of the stream. There's a promo code. If you say, hey, this is something I'm interested in getting, 10% off with that code. There should be a link in the description, but if you don't see it, let me know. Definitely worth a look If, especially once you do the math and realize, like, man, if I'm paying $20 for one bucket of range balls, you know, that I can hit a lot more golf balls by investing in something like this, which for me has been awesome. I love, you know, coming out here to practice. It's basically like having a driving range available to me 24/7. I would love for someday, maybe somebody like Rapsodo says, hey, this guy seems like somebody who would do really well having a, you know, a launch monitor and a simulator setup on his live stream. I think Rapsodo could probably make that happen, but I'm not, I don't feel strongly about which brand of launch monitor we use. I just think it could definitely be helpful. It could be accretive to the experience to have some data. We could also, you know, talk about the pros and cons of the launch monitor. She says, I think it's time to stop practicing, Dad. Is that what you said? Oh, tell me about it. What do you think? What do you think? Okay. But what if I wasn't done practicing? What if I wasn't done yet? Huh? Oh. Oh. Miss Lady, I don't think you're supposed to be eating those sticks. You're not a cow. You're not a cow. Yeah. I've been doing this drill a bit too, guys, dropping this right foot back and really trying to force myself to rotate and, you know, doesn't let everything get going towards the ball, which is something I sometimes struggle with. Boom. It's a really good way to learn. Again, just kind of incorporate these things while my main goal is just to deliver, boom, that nice crispy center of the face strike. Hit ball first and then the turf. Does the net work well with wedges? Over the net. No. I mean, I've been hitting an 8-iron, which would certainly launch pretty high. But like, I could hit a sand wedge, right, and not really have any concerns. Sir, you're in the danger zone. If you're not going to respect the laws of Topgolf, we're going to have to ask you to leave. What does the lady say in the famous video? She's like, if you hit the driver one more time, I'm calling the cops. That's it, hit the driver one more time. So yeah, we can certainly hit some, you know, some wedges in here. No problem at all. Got way out in front of that one, but. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, there's still, you know, a couple feet of room. Like say you were super high, I still don't think you'd have to worry. Whew. It is getting warm. I'm in the process of making my detached garage into a golf simulator theater cave with pool table. Wow, that sounds awesome, Michael. Jen Ober wants to know what my handicap is, usually around 0. If you want to get timing down, stand with your feet together. I like that drill too, I've been doing that one. Ty says, do you leave the net outside? I do. AI says, thanks, John, you're welcome. Steve says, just played 18, bro. Wow, that's awesome, I'm jealous. Hopefully you had some nice weather for it. It's perfect here today. If I keep hitting it this solidly, guys, look out. We could put up some really good scores soon. Oh, man, it is humid. Ty says, I need the link. Grab the link from the description, Ty. Try looking in the description of the YouTube, of the stream. You'll get 10% off with the code. Let me know if you don't see it, Ty. I can make sure you get it. I'll say it here. The code, guys, is John, John, 21744. The link with the 10% discount code is in the description. Shout out to Squirrel Sniper. Thanks for confirming for me. Hey, David Weller's in here. What's up, David? What's up with you? Michael, I was in the beach when I was a teen in the early 90s, hot and muggy. Yeah, that sounds right. Aubrey, to quit coming over the top, just aim lower. Oh, I missed your question. Sorry, Aubrey. Any tips to stop coming over the top? So I've got a great drill for you, Aubrey. Now that I'm hydrated, right? What I would have you do, grab the head cover off your driver. Hey, Simon's in here. What's up, Simon? All right, so if you're struggling with coming over the top, grab this head cover, and I want you to drop it down behind your ball and, you know, on the outside, right? Slightly behind it and to the right. I'm assuming you're a right-handed player. If not, just reverse it, right? And so what's happening when you come over the top? The club head is getting inside early, right? The takeaway is coming in close towards you, right? And then in order to get back to the ball, you have to loop it back over, right? And that's going to make it really difficult to strike the ball squarely. All kinds of crazy stuff's going to happen, right? So that's what's, you know, happening. How do we fix that? The main thing I think that will help is keeping that club head with some more width in the takeaway, right? So try to feel like that club head stays really far away from you, or like you were tracing a line along the ground as long as you possibly can, right? Extending that club out to give yourself this space, because this space is what's going to allow us to swing it down, right? So that's the what's happening, you know, how do we fix it, and then what's the actual drill, right? So this drill, when you set the head cover up in this position, if you make that over the top move, it's going to block your path to the ball, right? You won't be able to hit it. So if you do want to hit it, you have to learn how to neutralize that path, right? hit the ball, you know, on a much more neutral path. When you get the club face square, you should hit pretty straight golf shots. Basics said, what's up? Hey, Battlefield, what's up? David said, chilling and ready to learn. Very cool. Simon Trot said, hi. Hey, Simon. Have you ever been profiled or denied entry somewhere due to the tattoos? That's an interesting question. I've definitely had people make comments that I, you know, knew were like less than friendly or like, you know, disapproving in some way. But no, I've never been to a place that was like, you cannot come in here, or, you know, this is a problem that you have tattoos. And I will say too, like a lot of times when I'm playing out in the summer, because of trying to protect myself from the sun, I wear longer pants and I wear sleeves. So you guys, you know, see a lot in a lot of my videos where I'm out playing golf, you might not even know that I was like a heavily tattooed person. So that's mostly about, you know, protecting my investment, which, you know, has the dual benefit of, like, you know, I played at some extremely conservative, you know, private golf clubs, and I know, you know, that somebody who looks like me isn't what those people are used to seeing every day. So like, why not just make it easier for everyone? Now, if it was, you know, 100 degrees out, yeah, you're damn right. I'm going to wear shorts and a short sleeve shirt and, you know, deal with anybody who wants to say something about it. But no, I've not really had any major issues. I think people are pretty understanding. Mike is playing up every now and then. Oh, that's a bummer. Hopefully it's better now. What did you eat for lunch today? I had a salad for lunch today. Aubrey says, thank you, you're welcome. Thank you, Squirrel Sniper. Michael says, feet together drills will also get that swing on plane. I completely agree. I like the tornado tat on your leg. Thanks, Spencer. What's the best comment anyone ever gave you on the tattoo? That's a good question. So, somebody earlier today said there's an Ed Hardy blanket talking about golf. That made me laugh. That was pretty good. I'd have to think about it and come up with something that, you know, think about a moment when somebody said something funny about my tattoos. Most of my friends just make comments like about like coloring books, like I look like a coloring book. Ron says, come play at Fair Oaks Ranch Country Club. Where is that, Ron? Tell me more about this country club, because I am definitely interested. You being crazy, buddy? He says, yeah, Dad, you don't understand. There's no hole in the ground over here, and there just needs to be. Come on, no more digging in the yard, please. Come on. No, no more. Go on. He says, you don't understand. We need these holes in the ground. Born Texas, heart of the hill country. How far is that from Austin, Ron? David says, still slicing, heard of this figure 8 in a backswing to promote a different swing path, out to in, makes sense. Yeah, so I think if you were to look at somebody like a Jim Furyk's swing, David, you know, just go watch like Jim Furyk and watch how he shallows the club. And that's the drill that you're referencing, right? Or even like an extreme example would be a Matthew Wolf, where he takes the club really out this way and then underneath shallow this way. But don't, you know, give this drill a try, where, because if you're still coming over the top and slicing it, you know, it's going to be super tough to do that and not have your path to the ball be impacted. Outside of that, I would try to tell you, like, again, go back to that task orientation. Say, hey, I'm going to try to, you know, I'm going to set up as if I'm going to hit it right down the center of the fairway, but I'm going to force myself to hit it into the left rough. If people assume you are really hardcore because of your tattoos, it's a good question. I don't know what people assume about me. I try not to assume too much about other people if I don't know them. I do think that people would be, like, the average person would be like, huh, you're like a really good golfer. I'm not sure I would have pegged that. But yeah, I don't know. Tattoos have become much more socially accepted over the past 20 years. We have cops in Virginia Beach that have turtlenecks. What about the John Helldiver swing? Tell me about it, John. Pronounced, oh, Bernie. It's about 1.5 hours south of Austin. Okay. It must be like 120 degrees there this time of year, Ron? But yeah, drop a subscribe on the channel. And if I'm ever out that way, I would love to come check out the country club. It sounds really cool. Alden says, what's up? I used to go to Austin for work. Really like that city. Hello, puppy. Hi. Hello. I know. It's almost time for your next feeding. Almost. Hopefully the mic is still okay, guys. Let me know if it starts acting up. We can try a different one. David, let me know what you think of that Jim Furyk swing as an example, right? If you were to really try to exaggerate, you know, letting the club kind of stand up and then fall from the inside, right? That's the more common kind of figure eight that you'll see, as opposed to the inside and then over the top one. That's much more difficult to play with. Oh, that wasn't hit very well, was it? If you take your eye off of the ball, sometimes guys, that is a large hole that I'm gonna have to fill in. Is it because your mother went to the store? Come on, bud. No more. I'm also excited to do some more filming tomorrow morning. I'm gonna play another 9 holes, see how the game's doing. David said, thank you. You're welcome, David. Squirrel Sniper said it's better. Okay, good. That's awesome. Excuse me. Come on. Out. Come on, out from there. Come on. Oh. They're little terrors. And by little, I mean not little. They're both like 70-pound dogs. Yeah, you're a terror. But we love you very much. All right. So probably got time to hit a few more shots here, guys. Again, still just really focusing on delivering the center of this club face back onto the ball. And I don't know how easy it is to see, but there's a post back there that I'm kind of aiming at, so to say. You know, trying to make sure that all my shots are starting on a consistent line, right? You don't want them all starting, you know, over to the left or to the right or all over the place. Losing our glove here. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with me this afternoon while we did some speed training. We ran through some drills. Got a lot of good engagement, some good questions. Wes has never seen a tattooed golfer. Yeah, we're out here. We do exist. I know it's rare. So it's a pretty narrow, like if you imagine the Venn diagram of like high-level golfers and heavily tattooed people, they don't overlap a ton, but we're out there. There's some of us. My father drilled into me, focus on the feeling of the movement rather than overthinking mechanics, and most importantly, cultivate presence with each swing, becoming one with the club and the ball. I love that, Squirrel Sniper. That's really good advice. Where are you from? New England. Where are the tats from? All over. Most of my work has been done by the same guy in Boston. A whole bunch of it anyway, and then a bunch of it has been done, you know, abroad or other parts of the country while I'm traveling. You know, like I've got Germany and Amsterdam, Italy, California, Arizona, California, South Carolina, New Mexico. So yeah, just all over the place. I've got a couple that are, you know, other places, Maine. Yeah. Somebody suggested I do a tattoo tour. I don't know if that's a real thing that people do, but it sounded a bit strange to me. I'm not sure that's where my content is headed, but you never know. I just got tattooed a couple weeks ago again. I hadn't gone in like 6 months, so I was missing it. Been working on this traditional Japanese style leg sleeve for quite a while. I've probably done like 20 hours on it already, and it maybe needs another 15, maybe another 20. You forget that legs are much, much bigger than arms. It sounds like a stupid thing to say, but legs are just bigger than arms. Do Happy Gilmore style. It's Happy Giles. All right, so I can't really do it on the platform here, but we could do like a little stutter step. Oh, and that's what happens when you hit it into the wood. I think the club hit it. I don't think it was even the ball. Well, we avoided injury, so something to be said for that, but dangers of the Happy Gilmore swing in an uncontrolled environment. How to fix getting too deep in the backswing. Are you saying, like, is it like too much behind you, like too much hand depth, or are you saying it's too long? Squirrel Sniper, looks like a beautiful afternoon there. It really is. This is like perfect. I wish every day was this nice. Although you probably wouldn't appreciate it as much if this was every day. You gotta have some rainy days to appreciate the good ones. Hey, Maxon in here. What's up, Maxon? Great turn each tattoo place. So good. Fixing going too deep in backswing causing in to out pass instead of neutral. I need more ink. I'm way overdue. Shout out to Wes. Too much hand depth. Okay, so just again, so everybody understands, we're talking about hand depth in Aiden's question, right? We're talking about our hands relative to our body in the backswing, right? So this would be like very shallow, right? Not a lot of depth. And this would be like an extreme amount of depth, like way back here behind me, right? And I think that's kind of what you're describing. So the way I would go about fixing it is just trying to exaggerate the opposite movement, right? So if you're saying, like I'm getting my hands like way kind of back in here, and I can't, you know, I'm getting stuck and I'm getting it way into out. Well, what would it feel like to make like a mega disconnected, super shallow, like steep backswing, right? Like feel like you're truly like taking it up here, you know? If you think about these positions as like on a gradient, right? Yours is like way over here on the far side, and you're just trying to get it back into somewhere in the middle, right? But to do that, you need to train yourself on the far end of that spectrum. So hopefully that makes sense. I have height, but also getting too behind. Yeah, it's all a balance, right? Of trying to, you know, because ultimately The golf ball doesn't care about hand depth or any of this stuff, right? It cares about impact. You know, what is the angle of the face relative to the ground? How does that compare to our target line, right? The golf ball just cares about physics. All right, guys, we are going to hit these last, I don't know, like 10 balls. And we'll just do a bunch of kind of full speed. And here's what I'll do. I'll kind of go through my full process for each of these. And then success or failure will be based on whether or not our start line was kind of in the width of that post, and did we make good contact. Right, so practice swing behind the ball. Always aim the face first. That would be a success. That's exactly how we're trying to hit it. Started right in line there. So 1 for 1. Nope. It was hit out of the heel. So 1 for 2. Hi. Yeah, you helping? Are you helping? I know. I'm sure I'm very sweaty. Thank you. All right, ball number 3. Nice. 2 out of 3. That one was a success for sure. That was a nice swing. Good strike. All right. So I'll catch up here in a second, guys. One more. Practice swing behind the ball. Set the face. Nice. 3 out of 4 now. This is 5. Won't hit that one. Muscle memory after break your pattern, work and swing. Yeah, agreed. I'm very new to golf. Cannot hit a good chip shot around the green at all. I either hit it along the floor or chip it a foot in front of me. Can you give me advice on how to chip? Yeah, so the chipping, I'll do this super quick, is just an exaggerated putting motion, right? So you need obviously like a pitching wedge or a sand wedge, something, you know, with some loft. But from there, I would tell you, just practice one chip shot, like a pretty standard, you know, comfy, like exaggerating chipping motion, right? You don't need a ton of wrist hinge. You can just learn to chip the ball, right? And you're trying to develop one shot so that you can always, or try to always, after you're chipping, have your next shot be played from the green, right? It might be 20 feet, it might be 30 feet, 40 feet away, but you need a shot that you can reliably get out of the rough and the bunkers and onto the green so that you're playing your next shot with a putter. Happy Gilmore. Xerox says, bro, you like a character from GTA. That might be the answer to my favorite tattoo comment. That's a pretty good one. Aaron said, weak. Handling, use a strong putting stroke with a pitching wedge 9/8 within 3 meters of the fringe, bump and run. Aaron, so is your first comment. Christopher said hi. Did it fart though? You'll never know. All right, so this is ball 5. 3 out of 4 so far. This last set of execution practice, right? Nice. That was hit good again. So 4 out of 5, happy with that. Hole number 6. A lot of wind down and off the left today. You know what, I didn't like how I stepped into that one, so I'm going to do it again. Just start the process over. A little feel swing. Aim that face to our target. Nope. Hit it a couple grooves low. Wasn't terrible, but not what we're looking for, so that's a miss. 2 misses now, so 4 out of 6. Hanley said, thanks guys. Yeah, really appreciate the stream and all the chatters, you know, helping people out, answering these questions. See, I did it again, not paying attention. So this is why we do this. I'll give that one a passing grade. Yeah, that was hit nicely. All right, 2 more, 6 out of 8. Hi. She says it's not time to hit these last balls yet. I know. All right, back in the process, so behind it. Got our good feel. Aim the club face. That was hit really good. All right, one more. 7 out of 9 to date. Step in, got our target. Take it. Started right where we wanted. So 8 out of 10 on that, guys, pretty good. You know, for doing some kind of process execution training. Does the tattoo add power? I wish it does. Bro does have doo-doo stains on the back of his shorts. Amazing. Sounded decent. On your leg sleeve, how bad was it behind the knee? It just looks painful. Yeah, behind the knee is not my favorite. It's definitely not the best. You did get me to look at my shorts though. I think the most painful spot I've ever had tattoos was my sternum. Like right here on the bone in your chest. That wasn't super fun. I don't know if well, I don't need, I mean, it's done now, so I don't need to get it done again, but that was probably the closest I ever was to being like, I think I'll just come back another day to finish this, but I've never done that. I've always powered through. At the end of the day, you're playing a game, have fun and relax. That will help with your game more than anything. Nice to have found your feed, John. Good day, mate. Thanks very much, Michael. I appreciate all of your awesome back and forth and comments that have added a ton of value to the stream. So thanks for hanging out and checking it out and subscribing. If you guys are enjoying the stream like Michael, you want to hit subscribe. Wes says, damn, I'm getting ready to get my chest and stomach done. God bless, brother. That's all I can say, because it was not very fun. Michael says, I'll be back. Well, we will be back tomorrow, guys, with another stream, hopefully. So one more chance. If you want to hit that like button, you want to hit subscribe for me, really does help us out. If you need a net return, you're very impressive at golf. Congrats. Thanks very much. just subscribe to your channel. Amazing, Wes. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, just really quick, guys. You know, like I said, one more chance to subscribe. But you know, I'm honestly blown away every day at the amount of support. You know, the new subscriber growth rate. I just started doing this, you know, learning from scratch in January. It's only been a few months to already, you know, be on our way to like 3,000 subscribers. All the nice comments, all the support. I'm really, really grateful. So you guys keep showing up for me, and I'll keep showing up for you. You know, I'm having a lot of fun doing this, learning how to, you know, make stuff that's engaging and interesting, make videos, do live streams. You know, so I'm gonna keep trying to get better at it, and if you guys, you know, keep showing up for me, I'll keep showing up for you. So, thank you. That's really what I'm trying to say. 60 watching, 60 like synchronicity. I think that's a great sign, Squirrel Sniper. Just shy of 2 hours today. So thank you guys for being here, and we will see you again tomorrow.